Hello there. In the last notebook, we went over finding top links in a given subreddit by looking back maybe the top 100 posts, top most recent, different things like that. And in this notebook, we're going to go over how you can sort of categorize what users are doing on Reddit. So first, we're going to start from some users that I found, and we'll sort of go and look at what subreddits they've commented in, and then sort of show you how you can, if you wanted to look at all their individual comments, you could do that. But in this notebook, we'll just sort of go over, hey, did this person post in Ask Reddit, for example, or did they post in the PlayStation 4 subreddit, and start to understand, or create like a user profile for people. Are they gamers? Are they interested in left politics, right-wing politics? Where are they from? Things like that is all what you can do. And just to start off, a little bit of ethical consideration. So as much as possible, it's nice to respect people's privacy. Granted, anyone who posts on Reddit should know that everything is scraped by Google and it's on the internet kind of for good, so most people know that. For this notebook, though, I tried to look for people who responded to privacy threads and said they don't care about privacy. So if you want to look up these people, feel free to really dive in deep. I just figured it'd be better to at least attempt to find people who said they don't care about people tracking them or monitoring their online profile. Anyways, let's begin. So we're going to load the utilities from the last lesson or tutorial we did. So that's everything in this utils.py file. So like extracting link information is in there, and this handy traverse post is the main thing, where it sort of goes through the whole comment forest nicely for us, so we can get a full big corpus of text on what we're looking at. So I'm just going to run this here. So I've imported TQDM. That's something that sort of shows us progress. I think I used in the last notebook. And then here's the users that are sort of fair game for this notebook. What I like to do is always sort of run through things for just like one person and then just do a for loop after that to, make sure everything works. But it's easier to test than just one person versus doing lots of for loops. So here I sort of showed like, hey, this is how you get post from a given user. So this is a list comprehension. Redditor submissions.new gives you all their post. And then to get all their comments, just do comments. And note there is 1,000 comment limit, I believe, with push or with prop. So for most users, they don't comment that much. There's a lot of lurkers out there, so we shouldn't really hit that. But I do have another notebook here that I will show you if you really want to get all the data on Reddit that you can. There's this handy tool called PushSift you can use. Moving on. So we're going to use pandas. That's the nice data frame table sort of view with Python. And I'm just going to iterate through the users. I already showed how to do it for one case, so we're going to get their posts and their comments. And then from their posts and comments, we're going to find the subreddit that they posted in. We're just going to run this here. I said I would use TQDM, but I don't think I actually did in this one. So we're just waiting patiently here. I'm going to add that in TQDM. When you run it, it will give you a progress bar. All right, so here's the subreddit. There's the user. We can see Shan with copious amount of ends posted in Destiny and Conservative. The one thing you could try to do, for a simple research project is of all the people who have posted in Destiny, how many of them also posted in Conservative, how many posted in Liberal, and how many didn't post in any politics. And from that, you could sort of compare that on multiple subreddits. Everyone who posted in New York City, how do they compare on the political spectrum? And that's just one, cool thing from my perspective, what you could do with Reddit. Okay, so here we go. So we've got our user DF. That's the data frame. That's what DF stands for. Again, that's this data. We're just going to group by users and look at a few aggregations here that are sort of interesting. Their comment karma, their, post karma, and then add that up to get their total karma. So you could sort of see, if you wanted, you could see like the percentage of post karma over total karma, see if there's any people that don't really post things but are great on comments and vice versa. Different types of accounts for different things, especially the news subreddits have a lot of interesting accounts that just post top hits and somehow get really, really high upvote counts, so like link to like Washington Post or some random place. all these metrics would be very interesting to, start to drill down and start to categorize different users into profiles or categories. Okay, so see here, very low post karma. So Bojangles, big commenter. Cake Day, and some other information. And what I've done here is I created this category called interacted in. So that's did they post in a subreddit. We've got quite a lot of different subreddits here. Looks like Shan was testing on his own Shan thing, trashy. So lots of things. And one thing you can do in Pandas that's useful is to get rid of the display limit. You see we have 6 rows and 309 columns. We can't see everything. It's a little, it's nice sometimes to see things if it's not too big. So I'm just going to take this in. Options displayed at max columns. If I could just say like 999, that'll be good enough. Then use the profile. Here we go. So now we can see a huge matrix of everything people posted in. And there's not going to be a lot of overlap, but here, legal advice, and 2 people posted in that. And it's really once you get overlap that you can start to do more interesting things. Because if everyone's in their own world, you can't compare them. They're all different. But it's where you see the similarities where you can sort of bridge the gap to start analyzing users. So here's our data. Here's the sort of mean scores of how often people interacted in things. And then the count shows you how many of the different users had an interaction in that given subreddit. So 4 users use unpopular opinion. I think that's a default Reddit sort of default subscription when you sign up. Same with politics. But then there's more things like cyberpunk game. So 2 people who are interested in gaming or cyberpunk, I think that's a game, I don't even know, didn't care about their privacy. And then you could also compare this to people who did care about their privacy and write a program to sort of split the comments between someone who said, I don't really care about privacy. You can teach the computer how to recognize that and start to categorize users automatically. And that's a bit more involved if you're interested in seeing how to do that in a more scalable fashion. I could do a project that way. The big issue is trying to get enough training data and sort of doing things, but it's kind of fun too. Very common data science problem. Anyways, you can sort of look through these categories, and this is just the starting point. In the next notebook, I'll go through comparing people or comparing different location subreddits like New York City or Austin or the Bay Area to each other. All right, but just one more thing for this one. Here's all the metrics where there's at least 2 people out of the 6, I believe it was 6 users that we have that interacted in all these different things. And I've gone through and I've categorized things. So say you wanted to sort of find out, is this person judgmental? Well, you might argue with me here, but am I the asshole? Is people trying to figure out if they're right or not? So they care about judgment. They want to be in the right. People who post there are probably a little bit more judgmental. Someone who follows Adam Carolla, probably a conservative. The aptly named conservative subreddit is conservative. Child-free vasectomy, lots of categories. Basically, what I did here is I looked through everything where there's at least 2 users who interacted with something. And then I just sort of added them to the list. And then if they don't have a category, that shows up in not done yet. So if you just keep rerunning this, if I were to add ask men to something, is a man. Or no, interested in men. Not a very good category, that's why I didn't really do it. Men things. And if I put in ask men here, now it's gone from the list. I can see sort of what is left to do. It's helpful when you have a ton of different subreddits and you want to see which one to focus on first. Also good to sort of go by importance, like how many people interacted in both these subreddits. Maybe you want a category for that. Maybe you don't. But yeah. So yep, that's how I went through this. I won't sort of spend all the time to go through all these categories. This is a function that will check if someone has sort of matched in one of those interest categories. So did they post an Ask Docs? This function will sort of do that. You'll see these are all interest ins. And just go like this, run it. So gaming, a strong interest in gaming by, I believe this is just on 1 user. And then we can do this on all users to sort of extend to our profile. So we'll have where they interacted, what subreddits, and then what they're interested in. This, okay, very fast since we don't have to make requests out to, what's it called, to Reddit. And yeah, so we can see interest in gaming. 3 of them expressed at least some interest in gaming. A lot are interested in entertainment. Well, Reddit is somewhat of an entertainment site, so that all makes sense. And then anime, so a lot of different sort of attributes you can look at. And there's different techniques in data science to look at a big matrix like this and begin to categorize users. We might want some different categories depending on what we're trying to do, but like even from just what we have here, you might be able to estimate someone's age with better than flipping a random coin or just guessing, just based on their interest. Like someone who's interested in anime is probably trending younger, if you were to plot that. And the only way you could find someone's true age is if you find them saying like, today's my birthday or something, or I graduated from high school. But that's another thing you could work on if you're interested. Estimating the age of a person and then the average age of a subreddit is very doable with all the information people post about themselves on Reddit. Here we go. Here's sort of the interest by people. It's a lot of confessions. I think there's a bit of default Reddit stuff, funny, current events, gaming. We sort of saw that one. Conservative's kind of interesting. So in the next notebook, I'll try to do a better job finding out conservative versus liberal. So you can look at that too and apply it to any subreddit you want. But yeah, thanks for watching. I sort of mentioned different follow-on projects I would recommend you try to do. If you want any help or even want me to do it, just maybe leave a comment or get in touch with me some way. And maybe I can try to make a video. But yeah, thanks for watching.